Good morning, bro. Thanks for coming yet again. If you enjoyed yesterday's talk, then I can promise you today will not be the same. Because yesterday, I began this discussion straight after the gym in a high frequency state, pumped full of caffeine, just excited and ready to go. But today, this morning, I wanted to do the opposite. I wanted to come on here and speak in, when things weren't optimal and I wasn't, pumped up and, just bussing with full of energy. Because last night, I truly did not get much sleep. It was the first day of going back onto the carnivore diet, and because I'm not fat adapted yet, one side effect I experienced was insomnia. I was just lying awake with my heart pumping, and it certainly didn't help that I consumed, enough coffee in the morning to get me really, really hyped. And I'm not that sure where this talk will go, but I did want to mention the fact that caffeine is a vice, okay? I'm sick of all of this cope and how normalized it is. I have my cup of coffee and then I be productive. I'm a good boy, hashtag entrepreneur guru. It's just like, it's a part of everyone's morning routine. I have a cup of coffee and then I get on with my day. How is that not an addiction? How is that not a vice? Because caffeine truly affects you a lot more than you think. Yesterday, I had a whole checklist, a to-do list to do, and I did complete it all in the end, but it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy because at the start of the day, I hyped myself up with some strong cups of coffee, all done before 10 a.m. And so I got myself into this excited state when I was just ready, as I've already said, I don't want to keep repeating myself. And then it made me feel like I was getting a lot of stuff done. Caffeine makes you feel like you're progressing. It, surges your brain full of, cortisol, adrenaline, freaking dopamine, which, as a cocktail, all just makes you feel this momentum. But it's an illusion because you can honestly drink plenty of caffeine and feel this momentum even while you're scrolling on Instagram looking at motivational posts. So, if you can't experience the feeling of momentum without caffeine, then I have an unfortunate truth to break to you. You're probably not making as much progress as you think. And man, today, the start of the day, there was nothing that I wanted more than to just put on the kettle, make myself a strong cup of coffee to fire me up and wire me up. But yesterday, after the caffeine started to come down, I had so much struggle in completing my task list. I don't want to experience that today. Yes, I might get a bit of withdrawals today. Yes, I might not feel that I'm very effective, but, I was clean from caffeine for the past week or two before Thursday, because Thursday, the night before, was a night of very ill sleep. Like, very little sleep, and I wanted to have an effective day. And so I chugged, and I chugged, and I chugged. I had a cup of coffee and 2 cups of strong green tea throughout the day. And I know that doesn't sound like much, right? Because there are kids these days, 16-year-old kids who go through like 8 monsters a day, which is just lunacy to me. But when you're desensitized, caffeine is very, very potent for you. And it really makes you realize just how far down the rabbit hole you can go, to where you become someone who needs like 10, 20 scoops of instant coffee just to fire themselves up for a heavy training session. That's not the kind of life I want to live. And it's so tough to sacrifice this excitement, this feeling of hype, in order for more stability and more mental clarity. But yeah, I guess we're on the topic of caffeine, and that's all I've pretty much talked about so far. I didn't really have a plan for this video, as you could tell. I just came on here and started yapping, but yeah, why don't we talk about the concept of vices more in depth? Because there's always something, right? There's always something. Even when you feel like you've made it or you're making it, your vice can become work. You can allow work to sacrifice all other areas of your life and become this unhealthy just mess who just sits at his computer all day and gets stuff done, probably has quite a full bank account, but you have no good relationships in your life. Your family hates you. Your children have no respect for you. You're fat. You're gluttonous. You have like 20% of the amount of energy that you could have, which actually, funnily enough, affects your work poorly. But because you're so locked in, and because you have this whole idea that all you need to do is just get to this goal, you just neglect everything else and you become an unsuccessful man, in my eyes. Because I believe a successful man has everything, right? Not everything materially. He has everything spiritually. He's in alignment with God, but yet he has an amazing life too, in which he spends his days doing work that fulfills him, that gives him a lot of meaning and purpose, and that also brings him great wealth. Also, obviously in shape, jacked, healthy, full of energy, full of vibrance, beautiful family. But yeah, that's my version of success. I don't know about you, but that sounds amazing to me. And if I have to sacrifice, maximizing the number of my bank account to achieve this, absolutely. If I never make 10 million, but I can only make 1 million and have this life, why not? Why not? You only need abundance. You don't need excess. The Lord, our God, does not want you to have excess, because he will take it away from you one way or another. But yeah, I guess I've spoken for quite a bit of time. It's been fairly unstructured, incredibly unstructured actually, quite rambly. So, I just wanted to just to get it out a little, just to get my brain whirring along when I'm not in a high frequency, when I'm not just pumped up from training and caffeine and I'm full of this, surge, this peak. I'm not in a complete trough. I'm not as low as I possibly could be, because despite not sleeping very much at all, the fact that I had no carbs yesterday is actually leaving my brain quite sharp and clear. And also, it really helps the fact that I have an unbreakable morning routine, which has 3 pillars of self-mastery in it: mental, physical, spiritual. And I don't want to keep rambling for much longer, because I could go into my morning routine. I could film it too, so I probably will do that. I'll walk you through it, maybe for the next video. I don't want to promise anything, but we'll see. Have an amazing day, bro.